Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. It's Saturday morning in Sydney town. It's quite eerie at the moment. It doesn't look like there's any breeze about. Not a leaf is moving on these trees, and it doesn't look like it's going to be raining. So it looks like it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. Anyway, let's just walk down George Street and go on a walk and talk. And this morning I want to take you through a book summary that I just cracked through on the bus. And the book is entitled The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by an author named Patrick Lencioni. Just had to be careful there, didn't get in the way of that car. So this is a book about teamwork. It's about how to harness the skills, the talents of a team. And we work in numbers of teams. We've got families, we've got work teams, you name it. We're surrounded by teams, and the ability to work in a team, I guess, is a key skill in order to gain productivity and outcomes. So the author here kicks off his book with a quote where he says, "When people don't unload their opinions and feel like they have been listened to, they really won't get on board." So that's one of the key findings, and I guess it's a psychological sort of trait that we all have. If we don't feel that we're being listened to, if we don't feel that we can voice and share our opinion and be respected, then you don't really get on board. And if people don't get on board, then the team isn't really a team. It's just a group of individuals doing their own thing, and you won't harness the synergy of the team, and it'll just be people working mainly against each other as opposed to with each other. And we've learnt from a very young age that teamwork is hard, because teamwork, to get it right, is quite tricky because of politics, because of egos, because of mistrust, and it always seems to get in the way. It's always tricky. The whole concept of teamwork is always very, very tricky. And as we alluded to before, teamwork is all about harnessing the talent and being able to work together to get a synergy. And I remember coming across the word synergy many years ago when I was working at IBM. And synergy is a Greek word, and it's basically combining the energy of each of the team players or each of the team members and getting results which far outnumber the individual inputs. So the author identifies five challenges that a team will face, and we'll just go through each of those 5 challenges just to detail them. And the first one is a lack of trust. The second one is a fear of conflict. The third one is the lack of commitment. The next one is the avoidance of accountability, and the last one is the inattention to results. So the first point that the author makes in this book, which is a cracker, is that being open about mistakes as a group will build trust. So building trust is very, very important in terms of team dynamics. And it's all about being open to talk about the tough or touchy subjects, because if you can talk about the hard things, then you are going to be able to come up with some great solutions. And once again, this happens in families, it happens in all group dynamics. How often are you with people where you find it impossible to talk about hard and touchy subjects? And if you can't talk about these things, then and you feel like you're walking on eggshells, then how are you going to be able to grow, develop, and achieve significant outcomes as a team? It's a very powerful topic, that one there, and I really enjoyed being able to, or for the author to bring it out into the open, because people find it hard to touch on that sort of topic because of the sensitivities that it may raise. Because the bottom line is that we're all sensitive, we all have challenges that we all face based on our upbringing, based on how we've been wounded in the past in teams, and we've all worked in great teams, so we've learnt over the years how great teams function, but we are saddened in many ways that not all teams function the same way. Not all leaders are the same, not all leaders bring out the best in their teams, and once you've worked in great teams or a great team, then you always lament the fact that not all teams are the same. So the author then talks about another really important point, a really good point on trust, where he says that trust is built when team members are vulnerable to each other. That is really interesting. So the whole concept of being vulnerable to each other, not just vulnerable, but vulnerable to each other, and each person partaking in that vulnerability is key to building trust in a team, in a family, in a relationship. So there's a big lesson there for all of us to open up, to loosen up, and to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. And it's a tough one because not everybody can open up. Not everybody is comfortable in opening up. And the author here, in terms of a call to action, basically says it's important to release and to be less hesitant to sharing weaknesses, and it's got to start with the leader. So somebody needs to lead, somebody needs to get the ball rolling on vulnerability, and the authors here suggest that it's got to start at the top. So we all must learn, I guess, to be comfortable with sharing our shortcomings with others, and to do it in an environment where you feel safe. The second point to come out of this book, we're not going to cover all 5, but I think we'll cover 3 at best, is regardless of people disagreeing with the decision, because along the way we're going to discuss things, teams discuss things, teams come up with things, and along the way not everybody's going to agree with the things that are being discussed. But the key to a strong team and an effective team is that once we've discussed it and once a decision has been made, then we need 100% commitment. We need everybody to be on board and fully committed to the decision that has been made. And because we need to understand one thing, and I learnt this many years ago when I was working at IBM, that it's important for an organisation, for a team, to be decisive, to be able to make decisions. The worst thing for everybody is indecision. And once you learn once you appreciate, once you embrace the fact that making decisions is more beneficial to the whole than not making decisions, then you'll realize that the key is to make and embrace decisions. Because when no choice is made, there is confusion and ambiguity which trickles down and spoils the organisation and the outcomes, or the potential outcomes, of the team. And in finishing up, the last point to come out of this book summary today is that you need to focus on the collective and not individual goals and outcomes. So team players are all about the team. It's not about the individual. You need to sacrifice the individual to make up and achieve the teamwork and the team outcome. So easier said than done. Everybody talks about it, everybody knows, or everybody sees when it's happening and when it's working, but to get there is really, really tricky. And over the years, we've seen some great teams, we've seen some great coaches, we've seen some awesome outcomes, but it does come to a particular formula, and it's all about gelling together, working together, united as one. And it's hard to keep together. Now, we've seen over the years, through friendships, through relationships, through families, people who were seemingly inseparable, who worked fantastically together as a team to run businesses, to run empires, to have social circles which were just absolutely beautiful. You look back over the years and you just say, well, what happened? What happened to that wonderful teamwork? What happened to that barrière? What happened to that family who were once the standard bearers that everybody else wanted to try and live up to? Anyway, I guess that's about it from this book summary for this morning. I've got to head off to work, and it's Saturday morning. The weekend has commenced for most of us, and after a few hours of work, I'll be preparing to enjoy my weekend. So let's finish up with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and most importantly, let's stay on track and get on track and live teamwork wherever we can. Be a team player, be a team leader, and contribute, sacrifice to the benefit of the whole. And we'll come together again. When I'm on my smoko, I'll go through and do another book summary to click on through all the books that I need to get through to get to my 1,000 vlogs, and hopefully be the most prolific vlogger that you've ever come across. I'm just really, really inspired to continue along this path, this journey that I commenced back in May 2020 during lockdown with COVID-19. Around about the 15th or 16th of May is when I commenced this journey, and I look forward to continuing it for as long as I can, and making the most of the time that we have available to each other. So we'll chat again. So take care. Wishing you all the very best for this Saturday, and we'll chat again. Good luck to all my friends and family, and over and out from Jim's 5am Club.